Okay, thanks for having me. I'm really excited in the next few minutes to share a few stories of a topic that's really important to me. In the next 12 minutes, my goal is to inspire people here to embrace innovation as a mindset, as something that can help you and your teams achieve your goals. When Brad first called to talk about me telling the story of innovation at BGC, he was really excited. In his mind, the idea of how BGC invests money, how we support staff to take on innovative projects, and how we nurture that within our company was a story worth telling. To be quite honest, I was a little surprised. I had been at BGC for 10 years. I'd appreciate that how we invest in R&D is different, but it wasn't really until that conversation and then thinking a little bit more that I really appreciated how unique R&D at BGC really is. So if we think of innovation as a mindset, how to tell the story of innovation at BGC. So I'm an engineer, I'm a geotechnical engineer. I spend most of my days working on projects, thinking about the problem at hand and about the future. I'm really not one to dwell on the past. But in order to tell this story, I did want to look back just a little bit to think about how I got here. So growing up, my parents were both entrepreneurs, my dad in finance, my mom in fashion. And then when I went to school, I went to grad school at Queen's, and I had the unbelievable pleasure of having Mark Diedrichs and Gene Hutchinson as my PhD advisors. They're the two probably most fiercely innovative people that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. They instilled a mindset in all of their students to push us further, to not accept that's how it's been done before as an answer. It was just something that we practiced as students. After graduating from Queen's, I moved to Norway, and I worked at the Norwegian Geotechnical Institute. NGI is a company that's known globally for their adoption and pushing of research and development into the practical space. They embrace a philosophy of bringing new ideas, new methods, new solutions to help solve problems. That was just part of my everyday life there. Coming back from Norway after being there for about 3 years, I moved to Ottawa and started my own company as an engineer, and then had to learn how to run a company as well. Then in 2014, I joined BGC. I worked there for about 4 or 5 years, and I took over R&D in 2018. The two people that held that role before me were Derek Kanakin and Roy Mayfield, who both put their heart and soul into BGC and helped create what R&D is. In the last 6 years, BGC has invested about $40 million in internally funded R&D projects. It wasn't until that conversation with Brad and reflecting on this that maybe thinking that innovation as a mindset, innovation as a skill, innovation as a tool was something that had just been with me for a while. And I appreciate that conversation with Brad, forcing me to think backwards about how to tell this story. So if we can all think of innovation as a mindset, think of it as a tool to help everyone achieve their goals and embrace their power in geotechnical engineering. There's a lot of research that exists on the connection between investing in innovation, innovative companies, and success. Companies with longevity, companies that are leaders in their field. Innovation creates a culture, an atmosphere, a place where employees are empowered to bring their ideas forward. It creates a culture where people can embrace change. And when the world throws change at us, innovative companies that are used to adopting change, can pivot, can succeed, and can accelerate. Innovation as a mindset also fosters growth. As we think about the work that we do and what we're going to be doing into the future, it's probably not exactly what we're going to be doing today. So if we embrace innovation, we can embrace the changes that are around us. There's incredible technological changes that are going on right now. The advent of machine learning and AI that are just at our fingertips. If we choose not to embrace those things, if we choose not to support staff in learning new tools, then we're not going to be able to grow. We're eventually just going to stagnate in our current practices. A fellow BGCer named Vahid, who runs IT, told a few of us in the fall, don't worry, AI is not going to replace you. He's not a geotechnical engineer, but he's worked with us for 20 years in IT, and we're all kind of relieved. But he followed that up by saying, but somebody with your skill set, with your knowledge, who knows how to leverage AI will. So if you ignore innovation, if you ignore the potential for growth, it's not going to set you and your organizations up for success. There's an equal or maybe greater body of research around the connection between happiness and productivity at work. We all know at a personal level that when we feel engaged, when we feel supported, when we feel empowered to bring our ideas forward, we're more connected to our job, we're more connected to the company, we're more connected to our peers, making us happier, making us better employees, also at home. Creating a mindset of innovation, if we can foster that in our company, in the individuals that we work with, we can support them and their goals. So yes, I am leading innovation. I still have my notes written on paper. So we progress clearly in science and engineering through innovation, but investments in innovation is also an investment in the individual person. At BGC, our purpose is to pioneer responsible solutions to complex earth science challenges. The people that are drawn to BGC to work on those problems are engaged in developing the future, engaged in developing new solutions. So of course we need to make equitable access to R&D at BGC, or R&D wherever you work. And in the last 18 months, over 300 different BGCers have worked on one of 124 different R&D projects. That's of about 600 technical staff. So that's about half the company has participated in R&D in the last year and a half. And I'm really proud to share that of those 124 projects, 51% of them are led by women, accounting for 46% of the expenditure. One of the most One of the most fun ways we invest in innovation at BGC is through our annual hackathon. So that gets back to the title a little bit. For those of you who don't know, a hackathon can be run in a bunch of different ways. The way we run it is groups of teams propose an idea, and then we select different groups to participate. And BGC, we're flying everyone to Alberta, or to Calgary for a weekend in April. We cover travel costs, travel time, accommodation, food, beer, prizes, staff throw in some weekend hours. And they get to work together in teams on a problem of their choosing. Often these problems or projects lead into R&D projects that are funded, and then many find themselves into our practice within weeks, months, or years later. Investing in R&D has a ton of positive outcomes. It makes better engineering solutions for our clients, it improves the quality of our work, it makes us more efficient, it makes people embraced in the culture of innovation. When you think of it like this, it's hard not to see a reason to invest in R&D. So how do we actually do this? There's lots of different ways one can invest in R&D. When we do it at the sort of magnitude that we do it, we like to think of, we use a horizon model, horizon 1, 2, 3. It's a pretty commonly accepted way of thinking about R&D. Horizon 1 are projects that are mostly called like sustaining innovation. These are the ideas that maybe you've just finished a project with a client and you thought, if I had 100 more hours, I could take this a little bit further. I can make this a little bit better. I could program this to make it more efficient. Those are those types of projects. And we make these as easily accessible to staff as possible. This is basically an email, and you can get a couple hundred hours to go work on something. Horizon 2 type projects are the ideas where it's like we're pretty sure that if we have a few people working on this for maybe a couple months, maybe a year, we can make some really substantial gains in this area. These aren't surefire wins, but we're pretty sure that with dedicated resources and investment and focus that we'll be able to make progress. And then Horizon 3 are the real moonshots. These are the ideas that exist in someone's head. These are the ideas that have never been really tried before. And we spend a little bit of money here to dabble, to test them, to see if they can kind of make their way to the next levels of innovation. Generally, in any given year, we're about 40 to 50% in Horizon 1, 40 to 50% in Horizon 2, and about 10 to 15% in Horizon 3. The conventional thinking about the Horizon model is really short-term from ideation to implementation is Horizon 1, and then Horizon 3 can be years and years of research before it ever gets to a product. So when you think about investment in innovation, there are risks. There are always going to be risks. But it's balancing your portfolio of investments from small things that are going to be wins to really big things that could be truly disruptive in the space. So investing in innovation is risky. We all know that. But when geotechnical engineers think about risk, we tend to go to pretty dark places. We go to death and destruction and environmental contamination. It's a pretty morbid group. When you think about business risk, it has to be different. Business risks are really important to take. You have to take the risk of investing in people. And when you think about innovation as a mindset, it's a risk that's worth taking. And you're never going to be right 100% of the time. You're never going to have all your projects as successes. But even a technical failure can be a win. It's a win because you invest in your people, you learn something that doesn't work, and you support a culture that empowers people to bring their ideas forward and execute on them. Innovation in geotechnical engineering is rarely about getting there first. Geotechnical engineering companies are not creating the next ChatGPT model, but we should be the ones that are using these technologies. We should be the one bringing them to our work and figuring out how to use them. When we invest in innovation, it's not about trying to do it the fastest. It's about focusing on the areas that are going to impact the people at BGC and the community at large, and then sharing those results. And when I'm thinking about innovation and thinking about investing in the future, this is what comes to mind. Why wait for the future when you can create it? Thank you.